Alright, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, we are starting the Sparkle Companion Quest for Penacony, baby. Lock in for it. I accidentally started this trying to get to the event, but since we're here, we're gonna enjoy it, baby. Here we go.
In my estimation, there is no question about it. This is murder.
Murder!
Such a foreign word to us. The people of Penacony could never come to any harm while under the watchful protection of the family.
Well, that was
In
wrong.
a dream, even if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer. And worst, you'll still wake up in reality in a hotel.
Whoa! Okay, that's already super interesting. In a dream, if you're bashed 1,000 times with a hammer, you'll just wake up in the hotel. This is something I was speculating about as soon as we got done with the mainline story quest. So it seems like whatever's happening in Penacony is a little different from what, historically would have been the case. Dude, I want to turn up the volume on the vocals, but we'll have to do that after this cutscene.
Not necessarily.
Oh, not
Even
this
if the
guy.
result does not constitute harm, the criminal intent is clear enough. You specifically came here to cordon off the scene because of the unsavory nature of this case, right?
Right.
You're not wrong. Even if there are no casualties, being smashed over the head with a hammer in the middle of the street for no reason at all? This is not the kind of thing that happens on Penacony.
Uh-huh.
You are guests of the Oak family, so you may investigate the crime scene. I'll be on standby over here.
I just want to know how Sampo weaseled himself into this. Like, Black Swan, sure, makes sense. But Sampo, why?
Are you a witch? Just how did you manage to convince them in the blink of an eye that we're some kind of detectives?
Oh, he's confused too. Yo, what up, El Gato? Let's offer no explanation, okay? Sampo doesn't deserve it.
Just some suggestions at the memory level. If something happens in everybody's memory, then that something becomes a fact. Rather than hearing endless explanations, would you like to experience it for yourself?
Yes, I would.
No. Hey, you can save that for the enemy.
Oh, I think I misunderstood.
Then on to the next order of business. Let's discuss your companion, shall we?
I assume that's Sparkle?
Memo Keeper of the Garden of Recollection. I've been watching you for quite some time.
Dude, Sparkle gets creepier and
You
creepier.
stole a glance at me when you first entered the hotel. You followed me wherever I went inside the dreamscape. In the windows along the commercial street. In the pond water reflections of the Ideen Park. Even in the reflections of the wine glass. Everywhere. My dear, do you have a crush on me? Well then, seeing as you're so interested in me, let's play a little game. I left a puzzle for you near OT Mall. Solve it and prove that you're capable of pleasing me. If you can solve it, then we can talk.
Why is she, like, in control here?
Waiting, my dear. Before Penacony gets flipped upside down, try to find me, catch me, and stop me.
I see.
There's actually more than one memo keeper who's come to Penacony. She's mixed me up with someone else. But no harm, no foul.
And who might that be?
The address that the mask gave you is right here. But you never would have thought that when Miss Sparkle mentioned a game, she was talking about wanton slaughter on the streets of Penacony. Such a direct act of provocation is enough to get my competitive side worked up too.
Mm-hmm.
Madam, forgive me. I had no idea about anything she said. As you saw, I went through a brain scan and everything.
See, the irony here is he can't really lie to Black Swan.
Helping her deliver a letter, that's all. I never knew this was actually a declaration of warfare. They say you shouldn't kill the messenger. So, maybe you can just, let me go. You all are the big shots here. I'm really not on your level.
What a frightened look you have. Don't worry. Since this has nothing to do with you, I won't be suspecting you of anything. Why don't you come take a stroll with me?
Oh, seems like I can't escape being an assistant detective. Oh, fine. It's all fine. No big deal.
How is Sampo trying to play the sympathy card right now? This is crazy. But the fact that... Bro, how do I go to the settings? I just want to, increase the volume. But whatever, I guess we're locked in now.
If there's anything you'd like to know, please ask away.
Regarding the victim, this also feels extremely intense to just drop us in the middle of this. All of a sudden, there's victims, Black Swan and Sampo are the detectives on the case, and Sparkle is communicating via a floating mask and like very clearly evil. Like, as crazy as the mainline story quest was, I still was unprepared for this. Like, I had no idea what was gonna be happening, but golly.
Who was the victim?
Yeah, do it during a fight, that's smart.
An employee named Shamari. Eyewitnesses reported that a tall, strong man wearing a large robe with long sleeves walked right past Shamari and suddenly assaulted him with a hammer.
Well, that's that shape-shifting that Sparkle pulls off.
And woke up from the dream. The murderer vanished in a flash.
Ooh, that sounds just like Sparkle.
No doubt.
Her
Detective
business
Nick's on the
is
job.
Transforming her appearance to look like someone else.
That is an OP ability, bro. You're like, imagine having the power of shape-shifting. Like, wild. Regarding the sweet dreams trope present at the scene of the
Who are
crime.
those two little guys?
Seems like the assailants stole the troop from elsewhere and deliberately placed them here. What nerve. They don't even have the slightest consideration for public order. Those two have clammed up. I wonder if you two could help pry open their mouths.
Looks like a puzzle that Sparkle has left behind for you.
Dude, no doubt he's trying to push off the onus. Just like, Black Swan, you handle everything. Regarding the evidence at the scene of the crime.
Any leads yet?
This is a developing case, so there aren't many clues yet. All we have to go by are the weapon used by the assailant and the victim's ID.
Is it that giant, like, it looks like a squeaky hammer.
With them. Sounds like they're trying to provoke us. Despicable.
I don't even understand why this is a crime scene. Like, if I know immediately, you know immediately, Black Swan and Sampo know immediately that it is Sparkle. What are we even doing? Yeah, can we talk to the victim, or can we just cut the chase and go find Sparkle?
Where's Mr. Shamari right now? I'd like to meet him.
I'm afraid you can't. The Oaks came forward and calmed him down. Mr. Shamari expressed that he understands the unpredictable nature of dreams, and went on to vacation in another dreamscape.
Can you blame him?
It's not to bother him. Guest experiences always have to come first.
Oh, I'm afraid by the time we find him, half of Penacony will have been sent back to reality by Sparkle.
Looks like we'll have to play this little game of sparkles then.
Interessante. Now we gotta go talk to the robots, bro. Constable, talk to me.
Swan, you're here. I'm the constable, and this here assisting me is the bailiff for this case.
Mr. Cold Feet, why'd you do it?
It's not at all what I expected that monk to sound like.
After all, Miss Black Swan, they're heading straight for you.
Don't interrupt, I wasn't talking to you. I understand Lady Black Swan has quite the intellect. I'm sure you'll be able to get to the bottom of the Sparkle murder case.
The Sparkle murder case? Wasn't the victim Shamari from the IPC?
You're wrong, Lady Black Swan. The victim is evidently none other than the matriarch of the Goldhammer family, Miss Sparkle Goldhammer.
I see.
Oh, I guess Miss Sparkle has written herself into the skit here, and this has nothing to do with the actual case. Goldhammer. Is that her real surname?
I'm curious to know as well.
Never heard of it. Sounds made up. Sparkle doesn't sound like a real name either.
Honestly, agreed.
Miss Sparkle was supposed to receive 3 valiant warriors at the Goldhammer residence today, but upon their arrival, all they found was her body.
Gasp.
Miss Sparkle had been smashed over the head by a hammer and died on the spot. Such a brutal act of violence.
Huh?
My investigations discovered that the 3 warriors were supposed to escort supplies back to their territory the day before, but they were unexpectedly ambushed by the Annihilation Gang.
You don't
They
say!
narrowly escaped and barely got away with their lives, finding their supplies almost completely raided. So they all shared a motive for killing Miss Sparkle, to escape punishment.
So the 3 of them teamed up to kill her.
I see.
Is the case closed?
No, there can only be 1 murderer. It's not an unsolved mystery if there are 3 murderers. Hang on. Wait.
I can barely take the TV thing
If
seriously.
you can't justify it, don't bother.
Got it! Those 3 were all vying against each other to be number 2. They couldn't have cooperated on anything. So it must have been one of them acting alone.
Dude, these are a lot of assumptions.
That actually doesn't make much sense. Even if they were on bad terms, those 3...
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan. There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
I've got the case file right here. If you want to learn more about the suspects, talk to me.
Bro, how do we go from, it's just like, yeah, it's gotta be Sparkle, to now Sparkle is the victim?
Lady Black Swan, allow me to introduce the 3 suspects to you. Lefton, Zhongshan, and Wright. Lefton is one of Miss Sparkle's chief lieutenants, whose right hand was unfortunately severed while he was valiantly fighting off the Annihilation Gang. He's now learning how to write and hold a fork with his left hand. How tough that must be.
Tragic.
Then there's Zhongshan. This guy's a coward who ran away as soon as a group spotted some bandits along the road. He ended up smashing into the side of a cliff and getting his face disfigured. It's a real shame, as he used to be one of the rare handsome men left around town.
Sag.
Last of all comes Wright. This guy was so insatiably greedy that he still came back to try and embezzle the rest of the supplies after they narrowly escaped with their lives, lying about how the gang had taken off with everything. Lefton and Zhongshan were so incensed that they broke his legs.
Damn.
Hang on, I'm confused here. Left on? Right? Is this some kind of joke?
I agree with Sampo for once.
Where did you get that idea from? Do you need me to go over it all again?
Dude, this all feels so nonsensical right now. Also, Dragon, congrats, and Pimnox, what's up? Welcome in.
That won't be necessary. I've memorized every detail.
Black Swan's on top of
No
it.
wonder you're a memo keeper.
The most interesting thing that's come out of this so far is the fact that Black Swan told us that she's not the only memo keeper that is present here. Now, if it is true in my theory that March is also a memo keeper, then, you know, pretty interesting, but she wouldn't know that she's a memo keeper. So how could March be getting confused with Black Swan? Like, that wouldn't make as much sense.
Holy moly! This hammer is super heavy. This must be the murder weapon for the Sparkle murder case.
Miss Sparkle also used it to attack Mr. Shamari.
I'm barely able to lift this using both hands. I have no idea how Sparkle could ever use this to hit a target.
And then escape instantly. Like, yeah, that doesn't make much sense. If it's uber heavy, all of a sudden it's in our bag. It can't be that heavy. But like, if it's super heavy that Sampo can barely lift it, how would you swing it so swiftly? You know what I mean? That you wouldn't even alert the other people and then just take off.
Motivation Department, Shamari. Is this the victims?
Mr. Shamari's belongings should have disappeared alongside him as he woke from the dreamscape. The fact that this ID is here means Miss Sparkle placed it here on purpose to prove that she definitely attacked someone.
Interesting. I mean, that does make sense. Does Sampo even lift? Yeah, probably not. Shamari's ID. Or so that's what they want us to think.
Is that all the evidence? How are we meant to solve this with so little to go on? Oh, you scared me! When did you pop out?
Bro.
The two pieces of evidence that you found are related to the attack on Shamari. Miss Sparkle didn't leave them lying around for no reason. They're clues to the puzzle.
So does the mask operate independently of Sparkle?
There are still some other clues that were placed in other areas, so they won't spoil the crime scene.
Isn't that a bit unnecessary?
I agree.
No. It's disruptive to have a stack of irrelevant things crowding a crime scene. Miss Sparkle is a law-abiding citizen who'd never bring extra trouble to the family.
Is that true?
Seems quite nice of her, if you ask me.
Looks like Miss Sparkle is adding a little spice to the investigation. Let's take her up on her offer then. Mr. Assistant Detective, this way.
Hanu time, baby, Hanu time! This is what I'm best at, chat. I don't want to play as Sampo, but I'm down to play as Hanu. What's in here?
What's this little device here for? Could you please let me know? It looks like a little button.
A little button indeed.
Don't push it, Lady Black Swan. Whatever you do, don't push it. That's the mutually assured destruction button that Miss Sparkle installed. Once pushed, Miss Sparkle and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
Then why would it just be laying here?
Sparkle also has her own button. The second she pushes it, you and the entirety of Penacony will instantaneously go up in smoke.
This all feels so
That
silly.
sounds like both buttons can do the exact same thing.
Correct. Exactly the same.
Oh,
Aren't you going to ask me why?
Chat, would you press it? One's in chat if yes, two's in chat if no.
why?
Because she is fair.
This is nuts.
Like, bro, make two buttons so it's fair, so both people or both parties that have them in their possession can just blow everything up. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? So I guess I can't make it where I've got to go unless I do this first. Sparkle would press it. Dude, I'm not even convinced that who we're dealing with is actually Sparkle. Like, none of this is making any bit of sense to me right now. Like, it seems so random that they just dropped us in the middle of this. Yo, what up, Skyward? Welcome in, welcome in. Anybody that's just now pulling up, we are going through the Sparkle companion quest. I did not intend to start it, but it's just how things happened. I don't know if I was gonna be tall enough for this. Oh, dude, it's like the foo-foo pom-pom. You can find one of these like in the hotel somewhere as well. Oop. Oh, that ain't right. That ain't right either. All right, and boom! Easy, first try. Oh. This is evidence?
What's this? A plush toy?
It's a big brown
Regardless
pom-pom
of why it's
toy.
designed to look like the conductor aboard the Astral Express, this doll Is it connected to the case?
Have you ever heard of something called a red herring in detective stories? It's a fake clue that leads you down the wrong path.
Surely the Astral Express is
I
innocent.
see. But when it's so obvious, doesn't that defeat the purpose?
That's just in case you didn't realize the ingenuity of Miss Sparkle and were worried about her throwing out a random, useless clue.
I see. Thank you for your keen insight. Then, let's pretend we were misled by a red herring. This doll. Could it be connected to the case?
Why are we all playing along with this?
You don't have to play along that hard, you know.
I've never agreed with Sampo more than during this quest. I hope we get to keep it though. This pom-pom toy is cute. And then eventually they let us like get a room on the Astral Express and we get to decorate it with all this stuff that we found. Yes, yes. I don't want to investigate it. I want to push it. Oh yeah. Nice. Ah! Easy claps. Who knew it was so easy to beat these TVs? Fine. Which quest? What are you asking about? And yo, congrats on beating your equilibrium trial. Hell yeah.
This notice seems like a hint for us from Miss Sparkle.
This is like the definition of a wild goose chase. To prevent criminals from hurting our great and lovely Miss Sparkle, the Gold Hammer residents shall abide by the following regulations from today onwards. All retainers and visitors must enter and exit the Golden Hammer residence using the facial recognition systems. Those who cannot pass through the facial recognition system will be killed on the spot. Wow. These regulations are in effect indefinitely. Alrighty, well.
That sounded like a story from ancient times. And why did the facial recognition system suddenly go out?
Ironic that Sparkle can bypass this with her,
versatile,
like,
isn't
shape-shifting.
it? Doesn't look like there are any more clues. Let's head back to the crime scene.
Alright, back we go.
Next, should we
Oh,
pin
no
down
more
the
Hanu.
identity
Sag.
of the perpetrator? This evidence. I've been staring at it all day, but there's nothing that can identify the perp.
Damn.
Lefton, that guy lost his hand.
Looks like he's got him right there.
Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right? I remember this one best. Right has a broken leg.
Why don't we flip the question and start by asking who couldn't be the murderer?
Agreed.
After all, there are only 3 suspects, so elimination could be a valid method.
If you put it like that, then do you already have someone in mind? Tell me, come on.
Chat, who do you think it is? If you've already done this quest, don't spoil. Who do you think it is? I think if there's a facial recognition thing, you know, Zhongshan, I don't know how he gets in without being killed himself. If Lefton is missing a hand, you know, how would he even hold the hammer? But if Right has a broken leg, how would he even be moving around? Other than it's in the dream world. So they're all probably fine in the dream world.
So, who exactly is the murderer? Lefton, that guy lost his hand.
So the evidence is couldn't hold the hammer. Confirm.
Based on the bailiff's statement, Lefton's dominant hand was seriously injured to the point where he had to learn how to live using only his left hand. Swinging that giant sledgehammer to murder someone, that must be hard for him. Probably impossible.
Detective Nick's on the job, baby.
Lefton's suspicion level can be downgraded.
Agreed.
So, who exactly is the murderer?
Facial recognition system.
Remember Zhongshan's face was disfigured after the incident at the cliff? Right?
Or maybe it is him. Maybe he's trying to get back at the family. Because he can no longer come and go as he pleases since his face is all jacked up.
Poor guy. He was seriously injured and was all wrapped up in bandages to keep his good looks safe. If that's the case, then he couldn't have made it through the Goldhammer Residence's facial recognition system.
Makes sense.
That would suggest that Zhongshan is not the murderer.
Oh.
By process of elimination, it seems that only Wright could be the murderer. That was easy. Let's tell the constable our answer and see what he thinks.
Again, though, how is Blood with a broken leg running around with the hammer?
Please begin your investigation, Lady Black Swan.
Begin it?
There are lots of clues at the crime scene that are sure to help you apprehend the real culprit.
Uh-huh.
The murderer is right.
Oh.
You have answered correctly! As expected, you didn't disappoint, Lady Black Swan. Game rules stipulate I must tell you where the next puzzle is.
This is all just a sham?
The next puzzle? I didn't sign up for this.
What is even
To
happening?
winning lies not in the puzzle itself, but in the motives behind Miss Sparkle's strange behavior. I'm afraid this chase may just go on forever.
I have to remind you that Sparkle is a masked fool? Do you plan on finding logic in the mind of a masked fool?
You should be able to help us, Sampo. Is that
That's
not your
exactly
people?
what I plan on doing. Even if it's just subjective, there must be an overall principle behind the behavior. Memories cannot lie, and hers may just understand more about her than she does herself. Right now, let's follow her train of thought and head to the next puzzle. I hope this time we can get ahead of the Bloodhound family. I want to try and avoid using my Memo Keeper powers.
That is the thing. Because of how Black Swan's powers work, I feel like she's got the ultimate trump card over somebody like Sparkle, who is, pretty OP for having shapeshifting. But as long as Black Swan gets in contact with her, well,
Why are
she can essentially read her memories.
Challenge, or should I ask, are you more focused on Sparkle herself?
I told you, it's purely out of a spirit of competitiveness. And
Damn it.
as a Memo
Parkour.
Keeper, I also have to fulfill my responsibilities and harvest some interesting memories.
Interesting memories indeed. Guess now we get to fight? I hope we get to fight now.
Whoa, this place is a complete mess.
Nope,
And
they're
those
good
two
guys.
weirdos are probably here too.
There's nobody else at the scene. Seems like Miss Sparkle used the same method to send dreamers back to reality. Let's talk to those two there, then.
So we're in the dreamscape right now, then, I assume.
Oh, Detective Black Swan and Detective Sampo, you finally made it.
We don't know what we'd do without your help.
This really is a dream. A fever dream. Just like
Why are you
everything else
talking
here.
like that? Is this some sort of artistic performance that young people are into these days?
Is there something wrong with the way we are talking? Deputy Sheriff, am I talking in a strange way?
Oh, of course not, Sheriff. The way you talk is no stranger than the cat that climbs the apple tree in my grandma's
The
backyard.
fact that these robots are talking and this is how they sound is wild enough in
This
itself.
time is a modernist one.
Let's discuss this difficult case then. The victim is a galactic business magnate named Sparkle.
Sparkle.
Her again? Sparkle really is obsessed with scripting her own death.
Oh, for the laughter. If you undercut me one more time, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the butt.
Kick him in the butt. Do it.
Miss Sparkle came to the fashion store to buy herself a brand new tie. She didn't come back out. After a long time, the shopkeeper went in to see what was going on, but instead discovered Miss Sparkle's body. She had been strangled to death. There were 3 suspects on the scene, namely a Pepeshi shopkeeper named Wright, a Foxian gambler named Zhongshan, and a wealthy Intellitron trader called Lefton.
Oh, you don't say.
Our old friends.
Interesting.
It's not just to aid your memory. We've added more descriptions to help tell them apart.
Miss Sparkle is so gracious.
Based on surveillance footage, witness testimony, and various pieces of evidence, the killer is ultimately among these three, and they were not working in cahoots.
Yep, I get it.
You're too lazy to be a suspect, right?
Oh, for the laughter! If I talk any more with you, it'll make my pure soul filthy!
Detective Black Swan, the dossiers are over here. You can learn more about the suspects from me. I trust you'll be able to cut through the hogwash and find out who Miss Sparkle's killer is.
Uh-huh. Okie doke. Well, talk to me, Deputy Sheriff.
Introduce the
Deputy
identities of the
Doggo.
suspects to you. It's very straightforward. First of all, is the shopkeeper right? He's one of the Papashi people and only stands as tall as Sparkle's waist, which is often a source of teasing for him. He can get pretty salty about it.
So he's too short to strangle her.
Next up, you have the merchant Lefton. He wants to join up with the Penacony Trading Guild and is in direct competition with Miss Sparkle. That could be a motive for killing her.
Okay, makes sense.
Finally, there is the gambler Zhongshan. He lost a bet to Miss Sparkle, and he had to hand over his family heirloom. It's possible he harbored a grudge against her.
I see.
That's all the information we have. Do you need me to repeat it?
No. We're locked in.
That won't be necessary. I remember it all.
Yo, congrats, Zatorian. Okay. Case review 2.
And there's the tie.
That skit before said that the deceased was strangled. Is this tie some kind of joke murder weapon?
Seems like a decent
The
tie.
tag on the tie reads, only for Imperial Master Lefton. Seems like it's one of Miss Sparkle's personal belongings.
Uh-huh.
That's not how you use the word imperial.
Seems like it would be Lefton's. If it is exclusively for Lefton.
There's an accounting book lying on the ground. It must have been specially placed there by Sparkle.
On the title page is written Chen Katong. Is that someone's name? A code name. Oh, I think it's the name of the owner of this book.
This Jian Katong person should be Sparkle's targeted victim this time around.
Huh? Nah, I haven't gotten her yet, but hopefully the jades that we get after this, we will be bringing Mommy Sparkle home. Swan Mommy!
So, it's just like the first case then. Only 2 pieces of evidence. The rest hidden inside her memories again, right?
Miss Sparkle.
Oh wait, did I say
doesn't
Sparkle?
want to
Mommy
distract
Swan.
your
My bad.
investigation.
She doesn't want to distract our investigation? What a law-abiding citizen this Sparkle is. Why doesn't she surrender then?
Chat, look, okay. Regardless of how you feel about Sparkle or Black Swan, we really know that the prize here is Hanu, baby. Team Hanu for the win! I just want to know about the Chad cans and about Hanu. Outside of that, don't even care. Not even my business. He's too small to even go up these stairs. We gotta take the long way around. Going for Sparkle? Nah. Freudian slip? No, it's called being a smooth brain.
Stool that seems quite normal. There are 2 small footprints drawn on it in crayon.
The short
The
king.
footprints, which are half as big as standard, must belong to a Papashi person.
Stood on the stool to do the
It's
strangling.
just that this person's drawing skills are
Oh, you're right.
extraordinary.
Ooh. It is Sparkle's Quest. That's exactly what it's called. Oh, wait, should I have not? Sorry, I gotta make sure I don't break the immersion anymore.
What What's that smell? Why is there a smoked red herring there?
It's an actual red herring.
Mr. Sampo, take a look. This is a wonderful smoked red herring.
Mmm, delicious.
Somebody save me from this cringe joke.
Even among the fools I know, Miss Sparkle's sense of humor stands out from the rest.
Humor.
Have you dealt with many masked fools before?
No, only a handful. After all, I prefer warm memories baked in sunshine. They're the ones that usually belong to kind people.
Bro, the imagery used in this quest is, interesting. Very, very interessante. Okay, so am confused as to how... Okay, so surely I go small and I use that rocket ship behind me. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
This clock is...
Open it up and take a look.
Dude, Hanu for Prez, baby. Skirt. Huh.
Oh, there's a ring inside. This is evidence too. Why was it planted inside another device?
It's a beautiful ring.
Because this ring was found inside the victim's mouth. We want to reconstruct the scene of the crime.
Bro,
In the
what?
victim's mouth.
Hey, there's something engraved inside the ring.
No doubt.
Zhongshan family heirloom.
No doubt.
That should be it. Let's head out.
Huh.
I have to thank you, Mr. Assistant Detective, but the puzzle this time is pretty strange.
Agreed.
Have you found out who the killer is?
Just some shallow intuition. Anyway, let's report back to the sheriff for now.
All right, Sheriff. These are the details we got.
Oh, for the laughter! Didn't think I'd be seeing Detective Black Swan so soon. Was that? You found out who the killer is?
Pretty much.
You live up to your reputation, Detective Black Swan. As smart as the nest of magpies roosting in the roof of my Uncle Frank's garage.
This guy is mixing
Again,
up
the
his
imagery
words
here.
Then go ahead. Who is the killer, and what evidence do you have to prove the case?
Wait, we can just not identify the murder? No, we
Good.
must.
Then let us appreciate your powers of deduction.
Yeah, this one's a bit more confusing, but...
Have you solved the case? This guy, Zhongshan, is a card shark who used to play Get the Koi with Miss Sparkle. He gambled away his entire family fortune.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, I think the ring is the thing that matches up.
This ring is a piece of evidence, right?
That's right! That's the one! What would a penniless wretch of a gambler like Zhongshan be doing at such a fancy fashion store as this? Because he was planning on robbing it!
I see.
He'd stolen Lefton's tie and was just about to get away when he saw Miss Sparkle, the one who had stolen his family fortune from him. So, he darted into the changing room and tried to get back his ring.
Okay.
Who could have known that Miss Sparkle would end up swallowing that ring? All Zhongshan could do was use the tie in his hand to try and strap down her neck to prevent her from swallowing the ring. But he unexpectedly managed to strangle Miss Sparkle to death.
I guess?
What a tragedy! If it weren't for your incisive detective work, the murderer would still be at large.
I'm so glad we could figure it out. Like,
Is something wrong here? This is too easy. The first case wasn't hard, but this one.
but this
As you
one.
can imagine, the conclusions that the evidence points to are not mutually exclusive. Which means this is probably another prank from Miss Sparkle. Mr. Assistant Detective, please feel free to point out a suspect as the murderer.
Ah, I see. Sheriff, the murderer is Lefton. The evidence is the tie, right?
Correct, Detective Sampo. I never thought you'd be able to deduce the truth.
I'm gonna be honest, this is like the
Sheriff,
biggest
the
hand-holding
murderer
quest
is
I think we have
right.
ever
The
gone
evidence
through.
is the stool, right?
Yes! For the laughter, how did I fail to realize this formidable intellect of yours?
Then, right from the start, there was no murderer. The evidence is the ring. Whatever, I'm just spitballing here.
Goodness me! Deputy Sheriff, is he really a genius? How could such an unfathomable mystery be solved so easily by him?
Bro, yo, what up, agent?
Look, Miss Sparkle has given us a puzzle where every single answer is correct.
Okay, what is the point?
So, seriously, Miss Sparkle is a masked fool, not a masked genius. If it's a challenging puzzle you want, please go out there and turn right until you get to the Intelligentsia Guild. We're only responsible for providing an entertaining detective experience.
Okay.
Anyway, since our genius detective Black Swan has cracked the case, I will now share Miss Sparkle's next puzzle with you.
So that's it? This is just going to go on and on forever? We can't do that.
Sampo has never been more relatable.
Then I wish you both the best. Oh yes, if you're not in a hurry, I can tell you the answers for some of the outcomes you never chose.
No, thank you. I really do not get the point.
Just as you said, solving puzzles is all just a cover for something else. That girl is toying with us. What should we do now? Just keep getting led around by her?
Thank you, Sampo.
Truly, Miss Sparkle is a fascinating person. She seems chaotic inside, but easy enough to understand. Like a performer on the stage or a child hungering for attention. This game will be over soon. This time, we're going to catch her.
Okay, let's catch her.
Miss Black Swan, Mr. Sampo, you're finally here. I am the famed detective of Penacony, and next to me here is my assistant detective.
Bro!
A murder in a locked room has left us all stumped.
Sounds like March.
As expected, another change in setting.
Yesterday, my assistant and I were visiting the famed artist Miss Sparkle, and we stayed the night. But this morning, Miss Sparkle didn't come out of her bedroom.
Because she was murdered!
The butler, Jean-Chan, said that the door was locked from inside, so we ought not to have disturbed her. But Miss Sparkle had never slept in so late. And no matter how hard he knocked, there was no answer from inside. As soon as I heard, I knew something must have happened.
Yo, what up, bro?
So I acted decisively and broke the door down to get inside.
And?
The room was covered in spattered blood. Miss Sparkle's body was lying right in the middle, her face white as snow. One look told me she'd been dead for some time. Thinking quickly, I grabbed the artist's canvas to staunch Miss Sparkle's blood, but alas, poor Miss Sparkle. She's left us now forever. Besides us and Zhongshan the butler, Lefton the cook and Wright the driver were also at the scene of the crime. What would you like to do?
Presumably, Miss Sparkle is now carefully arranging the next crime scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you skip all this rigmarole and just have a heart-to-heart conversation with me. It might tickle a little.
Wait up! Wait up!
Honest kid. I know where you are, Miss Sparkle.
Well, let's get to it.
No cheating!
Huh. Mr. Assistant Detective. You seem to be getting anxious.
Oh my glob.
It's this locked room murder case is pretty fun. I want to guess who it was.
So
Let's go. Can't keep a girl waiting, can we?
is Sparkle RPing as Sampo again, or
Sparkle has one final message to announce. Ding-a-ling! Now comes the most exciting and romantic moment in any drama. The audience challenge. Everyone knows that the mighty masked fool Sparkle can change her appearance to look like others.
Yep.
And in this drama, the villain Sparkle has disguised herself as another character.
Yep.
So then, I put to you, which character is it? Also, if you're interested in the locked room case that the memo keeper ignored, you can try out your powers of deduction. I put lots into coming up with the puzzle, so don't let it go to waste. Thus, the masked genius Miss Sparkle has thrown down the gauntlet. All the clues are in motion. Happy hunting!
Did it not say earlier? Oh, she's not a masked genius, she's a masked fool. Immediately, I am a masked genius. Alright, we must get to the hiding spot to expose!
Miss, why didn't you just do this earlier?
I agree.
Such a crude approach violates my aesthetics of memory. But as a means to an end, I need to put this aside for a more indifferent process.
Not Lordy Trash Can! Yeah!
There's no weird, sweet dreams troupe, nor is there evidence strewn all over the place. We finally caught up with her. But what's that thing? A Bella Boggian trash can? In Penacony?
Hey, dear memo keeper and Mr. Coldfeet, you made it.
Bro.
I didn't expect you to skip the final puzzle. That's on me. All right. Miss Sparkle cares not for the faults of ants like me. Come then, this is the final question.
The final question.
Listen up. What creature has 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night?
3 legs at night.
No murder case this time around.
A riddle.
Sometimes it's nice to take things easy. Come on, dear, give me your answer then.
It's people!
Since it's a classic puzzle, the answer is people, right?
Or it's not, because this is all some rigmarole, like she said.
An answer? How could it be as boring as that?
Of course.
The correct answer is Sparkle. When sleepy in the morning, she can't get out of bed. She runs about all afternoon in a fluster, so is exhausted by evening, but has to still raise a hand to hold a toothbrush. Poor Sparkle.
Dude.
So naturally, she's got 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, and 3 legs at night.
What the heck was that jibber
Dude, do
jabber?
people like Sparkle more after this? Surely no way. Surely this just makes people like Sparkle less.
But you can't try to fool me, seeing as you've just tried to cheat. Wrong answer. Accept your punishment.
So now we have to fight? Okay, bro. Ain't no way. Actually, no way. Oh my glob, Becky. Hey, I'm glad that I used like the double lightning and double wind team. It works out perfect for these trash cans. Golly, I don't know why Bailu's getting targeted though. Just karate kicks to the face. We must save our skills for Black Swan and Kafka! Alright, easy enough. I'm glad I had Sampo and Black Swan in the team too. Lore accurate, by the way.
What's up with this guy? He just came out swinging from nowhere.
Huh? No voices? This guy's pretty quiet. Miss, let's hurry up. Flip open the lid and find the girl.
Wait,
Bruh.
don't move. Something's off.
You don't say. You think? Something's been off the whole time. Web.
You killed Sparkle.
Dedge.
How is this possible? How can people die inside Penacony's dreamscape? In the Garden of Recollection. What did you do? You did this, didn't you?
Chat.
Killing people in their dreams. Only the remembrance has the powers to do that. You planned it out all from the start because she teased you and was pranking you. You wanted to kill her.
It was us the whole time!
You refused to let me go because you wanted to drag me into all of this. If I don't agree, I'll end up just like she did.
Oh no. Minus
There
two
is no
characters.
death inside Penacony's dreamscape. That's the promise of the family and the blessing of the harmony. Not even a memo keeper can break this barrier.
Easily the best thing that has come out of this quest so far. There is no death inside Penacony's dreamscape. A promise of the family and blessing of the harmony. So, if you've played through the mainline story quest, then maybe, just maybe, if you know, you know.
There's no need to take such great pains. If you just want confirmation, I've already told you the answer, Miss Sparkle.
Miss Sparkle? Who are you talking to?
You, Sampo!
You.
Miss Sparkle?
Sparkle has disguised herself as another character. Wouldn't that be you?
Bro, this wasn't even that good of a mystery.
This? Don't jump to conclusions.
If you want to accuse me of being Sparkle, you have to provide the evidence.
Oh, I'm afraid evidence is a little too hard to come by. So, deduction will do.
Dude, I'm so confused.
The hint for the final question was a little too obvious.
Oh, you mean the locked room murder. I thought you weren't doing that one.
All the painstaking effort that Miss Sparkle put into it. How could I ever miss it? The key to solving the puzzle lay in two pieces of information put forward by the detectives. First, the large splatter of blood at the crime scene. Second, the victim had been dead for some time.
Okay.
Based on my shallow understanding, I can only draw two conclusions. One is that the murderer did not need to create a locked room case, because a locked room always needs a reason to exist. But, based on the detective's description, this locked room did not delay the discovery of the body. There was no third party at the crime scene to frame, and the blood everywhere didn't look like a faked suicide.
So?
That being so, the murderer seems to have no reason for creating a locked room. There is also reason to speculate that if the crime scene was a locked room, then its creator might not necessarily be the murderer. As for my second conclusion, it's even more obvious still. When everyone broke into the scene of the crime, why did the assistant rush off to staunch the blood? A trained professional was somehow happily destroying a crime scene just to save someone who's obviously been dead a while.
True.
The answer is simple. It's because the assistant detective is the murderer. At the time, I was in such a hurry that I didn't hear the whole mystery. I tentatively speculated that the murderer had killed the victim the night before, but hadn't locked the door from the inside. And so, when he learned this piece of information, he realized that the victim had created their own locked room mystery. That's why he had to rush to the crime scene as soon as possible, to confirm whether or not the victim left any evidence implicating him.
I see.
And, judging by his behavior, it probably had something to do with that canvas.
Yo, what up, Dodo?
Like some final words. Of course, this is just a simple mind game. The answer to the puzzle isn't important. Miss Sparkle just wanted to pass on one hint to me. That the murderer is the assistant detective.
Great
Which
deduction
means
work, Black
it's
Swan.
you, Mr. Sampo. I've been using this term of address, but it was you who first came up with it.
Has anyone ever told you that you're more like a detective than a memo keeper?
Yes, Detective Black
In my
Swan.
opinion, there is no difference between the two. Follow ripples along the surface of the water. Use some abilities and tricks to keep diving deeper, and touch that secret deep inside people's hearts. Salvage it, and protect them carefully.
What are
The
we
truth
getting at?
does not lie. Neither do memories.
Very Black Swan of her to say.
Exquisite reasoning, and very close to the truth. But I have another answer. Would you like to hear it?
That it was actually Black Swan was Sparkle.
Answer?
The great artiste Sparkle locked herself away in her bedroom using red paint to create the semblance of spattered blood everywhere. And that assistant detective who was first on the scene, who confirmed her death, was not the murderer, but rather an accomplice who assisted her in faking her own death.
But why? Why would she fake her own death?
Such a pity. My dear, you were so close to the right answer. Unfortunately, the right answer is...
So it wasn't Sampo, which honestly is shocking to me.
Sparkle was disguised as Sparkle's body.
Okay, that's even lamer.
Ding-a-ling! I won!
Okay, congrats.
Does Miss Sparkle's body even count as a real character?
Why not? Miss Sparkle's body appeared in all 3 of those skits just then.
It's a little bit forced, but it's fine. So, who is this Mr. Sampo then?
Beautiful lady. I already confessed everything to you earlier on. I really didn't know a thing. I just helped a friend send a letter. That's all.
So I've been running a fool's errand this whole time.
Bro.
My dear, why so serious? Haven't you been having a great time? I have, at least. You take memories, and I get joy. We get what we need from each other, seeing as we're such kindred spirits, but also such loners. Why don't you come and work with me? Ooh, we can dance ballet together.
She is kind of like an evil genius, though.
Am I understanding this correctly? A masked fool inviting me to work together?
I wonder why.
A show of unprecedented splendor is about to be staged in Penacony. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. If you want to appreciate this drama, you have to stand up under that spotlight as you take the stage and watch the dancing envelop you. Come with me. This is the best seat in the house.
Dude, they're all so unpredictable.
I don't really understand why you're so fixated on destroying family barriers. But, as I said before, a memo keeper can't help you. It's frankly above my pay grade.
Gotta pay the bag.
Also, I don't consider you a loner. Oh, I don't mean him, but rather behind you.
Clocky?
The one who hired you to come to Penacony probably doesn't want you secretly linking up with other forces, right?
Now it's getting interesting. Now it's getting
Memory
really
is
interesting.
like the deep blue sea. But if you tried to catch 2 fish with 1 cast, you might not be satisfied with your catch.
Makes sense?
So, you mean you're refusing? Memo Keeper, did you think you could just leave?
Bro,
Why not?
what?
My dear, I don't want to scare you. You'll know the answer sooner or later. We're just getting to know each other a little today. If you ever change your mind, come find me at the tavern. That is, if you can find me. Let's go, Sampo? Sampo. Who is Sampo?
This is Bellabog, right?
Huh?
I said, why not? Don't worry. Such a crude approach violates my statics of memory. So once you leave my sight, you'll be able to remember everything again.
Whoa!
And also, I'm sorry, my dear. My dream dance partner? I've already got sights on someone else.
Either Trailblazer or March. It's gotta be one of those two. Damn, is that it? Okay, it got really good at the end. It got really good at the end.
Did you dream this has been? Did you notice its nested structure? Being part of a play inside the dreamscape, it's as weird and captivating as being in a dream within a dream.
Penacony is Inception Land. Huh. Dr. Edward, what the hell just happened?
That's the end of Miss Black Swan's dream bubble. Are you satisfied with your experience?
How fascinating.
I also found this dream suitably fascinating. You've gained joy from it. You've gained joy from it. And Miss Black Swan surely also feels gratified, yes?
Does she? Was she even real?
If we meet again, I will pass your esteemed praise on to her. I noticed that the people in your dream were familiar to you. It's worth repeating that dreams are just dreams. And in Penacony, dreams can be processed, or even tempered.
Okay.
Things in our dreams cannot be trusted, let alone in someone else's dreamscape.
Okay.
If there's any information that you'd like to confirm, please do so by the cold, hard light of reality. Sweet dreams.
Is it done?
Really?
Nope.
I wouldn't do anything to her.
Don't worry about that, Memo Keeper. Let's talk about my thing. I've helped you out with everything you've asked, as agreed.
Okay.
Shouldn't you give my mask back to me now?
Ooh.
Since when did the masked fools suddenly start respecting agreements?
Okay.
Just kidding. I loved seeing that look on your face. Take this key to the tavern cellar, 3rd barrel on the left. You never saw me.
So she could just be lying, right?
Sampo, after all this time, what made you suddenly want to take back your mask? This doesn't seem like the Sampo I know. Let me guess. A catastrophe is coming to Urello 6. Am I right?
So, judging off what she's saying, I'm assuming that these masks that obviously we've seen hers right here, and it seems to have some sort of powers, at least in the dreamscape, where it can kind of be like a third-party communication device. She's like sending the mask to do her biddings. Maybe Sampo decided he didn't want that, or maybe he lost it in a bet, but now he wants it back. Like, I feel like this is new evidence about Sampo and the Masked Fools, but that's the only thing I can kind of derive from it right now.
Well, no comment about that. But I love that line you said. If you're too late to take the stage, you can work behind the scenes. That really makes sense.
Does it?
Sometimes even an old-timer like me feels like taking the stage and making a fool out of myself.
If you're all out of options, please get in touch with me. I'm the kind of person who values friendship highly.
Forget it. You'll be doing me a favor if you stay away from Bellabog. After all, the elation that Miss Sparkle seeks isn't something old Sampo can stand by.
I agree. It's definitely got to do with Aha and the elation, and he just kind of mentioned it.
I said hi.
Shout out Giovanni.
Fine, I'm just spitballing here. Don't take it so seriously.
Did Giovanni's mask also look like that Kitsune? I can't remember. Why so serious is crazy. Is that it now? I imagine you've already seen that dream bubble. Relax. I just want to know if anyone has come looking for you yet. Black Swan? Indeed, the memo keeper you know. What? What does she know about Woobaboos? I'll make this simple. That full name Sparkle is currently searching all over the place for that dream bubble. I do not know what her intentions are, but allowing it to slip into her hands will only make the situation more confusing. Can you do me a favor and go reclaim that dream bubble? Of course. Anything for you, Black Swan. Your attitude is reassuring. I will go with you. Oh! We'll make it a date! But I don't remember where that dream bubble was left. Can you remind me? How could a memo keeper forget a What? You figured me out! We got her! And that's why it's question marks at the top still, I bet. Not a true memo keeper after all. Huh? Can't believe you figured me out so quickly. How dull. Pranks are all about back and forth. You've seen how much I have with that memo keeper. You should learn from her, young nameless. This is just the beginning. I'll be back. Bring it on. So that had to be Sparkle as well. Had to be. Yo, what up, Ariana? Masquerade Duet completed. New achievement, more jades. Do we have enough? Nah, we don't have enough. Dude, chat, what'd you guys think of that quest right there? I'm gonna be honest. At the beginning, it started off pretty slow. It felt very hand-holdy, as I mentioned. Like, aside from clicking on the sparkly things and talking to the people that we were being directed towards, there was really no challenge in this event at all. But then the end did get really good. It got really interesting. Like, as everything that we've seen in Penacony thus far, it almost feels like everything has a purpose, but is also like just meant to throw you off track. It's very hard to digest like what is worth like investing stock into and what is just nonsensical since we've been here. I do think they gave us some very good lore tidbits there, specifically talking about how things in the dreamscape do not affect what happens in reality. So it was kind of worth building up to that, because I think that will play a big part in our time in Penacony, as well as what we've already experienced in the mainline story quest. But interesting to say the least. Yo, chat, can you guys say bye to YouTube? If you guys are watching this on YouTube, please do leave a comment and let me know what you guys thought about this story quest. Did you enjoy it? Did you feel similar to me? Maybe there's some things that I didn't catch that you guys enjoyed. And does the quest make you want Sparkle more or less? Are you still trying to go for Black Swan? I'm still trying to get her personally. But yeah, leave a comment down below. Like the video if you made it this far. And I shall see you guys in the next video. And come hang out on Twitch. I'll see you next time.